Here's a very easy trick to salvage almost any failed acrylic pour. Check this out. So trust me when I tell you, you will want to watch this video till the end because the payoff is huge. So the pour that I wasn't happy with was a dirty pour, ribbon pour, whatever you like to call it. The composition came out nice when I was doing it here, but the issue that I had with it was essentially that the base paint wasn't enough. I didn't use enough on the base paint layer. Or you could also say I could have done the ribbon pour, dirty pour with more paint or like more colors. Essentially, there's not enough paint on the canvas for the design to move freely. And what ends up happening, as you see now as I hit the corners, is there's serious overstretching as the paint comes back from the corners because there was just enough colors to get to the corners in the first place. So as we complete the, by the way, these colors don't have any silicone in them, any cells that you're seeing. This is just bubbles from the colors being mixed literally 10 seconds before I started painting. And this is generally why people tell you to let your paint sit, preferably overnight, just to let the bubbles come to the surface on their own. But anyway, so here's the stretching. If you look at the sides, I'm really unhappy with how it turned out. I don't like the warping. I'm not a huge fan of the way the black and the yellow mixed. So I looked at this for a while and I figured, okay, I didn't use silicone. There's nothing, the paints are all the same consistency. And the paint is still wet. So rather than scrape, what can I do to it while it's still wet? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my silicone oil. I'm going to put a little bit in a cup. And I'm going to get a firm brush. I'm going to dip the brush in. And just gently flick the silicone off. You could also use a toothbrush if that works for you, because toothbrushes are generally very firm. And that would work well. The soft brushes kind of flop a little. That's why it needs to be a firm brush. And yeah, look at this insane reaction. One thing I will want to warn you about though is, you will want to assume that your entire workspace is now covered in silicone oil. So it's best not to have your colors and cups of colors lying around the work area while you do this flicking of silicone, because it really does get everywhere. Now, in terms of cleaning this up, because I know a lot of people like to apply resin to their finished paintings, and if you want to use any sort of water-based finish, polyurethane varnish or acrylic polymer varnish, regardless, you will want to clean the silicone off because it will repel any material that isn't an oil from it. If you use a spray varnish, you'll be fine. But in terms of cleaning, it's best to use either a kitchen degreaser or a dish soap that has degreaser in it, like Dawn dish soap. Now, let's look at this close up. Look at this. How crazy is this reaction? See how it went from a very messy, average-looking ribbon pour to a very interesting-looking explosion of cells? That's why I love this trick, because it can turn anything average into something awesome. And there you go. That's how I fix almost any failed acrylic pour. If you want to learn more about acrylic pouring, especially if you have never done one before, this video will help teach you all the supplies. This video will teach you how to mix your paint. And this video will show you how to make your first pour. This is G, and I'll see you guys soon.